after. It's like, how do you? It's like that's kind of shameful for you if you're Ronda Rousey. You're like the baddest bitch on earth. Who I still think she's the baddest bitch on earth. By the way,
especially when she's working.
Baddest fighter or just bad bitch in general?
She's just
that's
bad
a bitch.
bad
Period.
Yeah.
That's a bad bitch right
That's
there.
an Olympian, judo Olympian, man.
Yeah.
She's got skill.
So
You don't know if I'm around the corner and peeking on you.
Cool. Here we go. The countdown. Dude, it's kind of cloudy here in freaking Oaktown.
It's that haze, bro. It's that purple.
Grapes.
Don't you know?
What's up? I'm Sam Maxon, a.k.a. Sam. I'm a DJ, actor, playlist, self-proclaimed Renaissance man. When I'm not in the studio, I'm diving into my hobbies and exploring many interests. With that comes my personal, uncensored insights on anything and everything. Are you ready for it? This is The Slam Show. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of The Slam Show for August 22nd, 2016. I'm your host, Slam and Sam, coming at you on this great Monday night here in Oaktown. Man, I really am excited for this episode because we have some incredible guests and a flashback to the past that is on my freaking right-hand side forever, and he's back. He's going to make it happen. And without further ado, I'm just going to go right into the introductions real quick. And let's begin with that gentleman that I have so much admired throughout the years because he's been a supporter ever since I was selling cassette tapes out of my porch. And he's taken a little hiatus, but he is now returned onto the program, and I will get into a lot of our history in a little bit, but let's have a big round of applause for Boomin' Brian, everyone.
What's up? Hey, bro, the only reason I'm back is because I missed your sweet voice, dude. That whole intro, I was like starting to sweat, beads of sweat. I was like, that subtle, supple voice. I had to come back for that, bro. So what's happening? Slam and Sam, we doing it. I'm back for a day at least, chilling, back where we kind of started this gangster shit.
Yes, back in 2010 or 9.
In just a little shack of a extra space type room and talking shit.
Yep.
You were on the his and hers. I was in the booth.
Yes,
doing
yes.
all that, man. Good shit. So
Yeah.
we're still at it. You're still at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So hopefully I can add a little expertise and some fun because some people have came and gone, and I think that maybe put a little damper on the mic, bro. I don't know who you find these people putting on the mic, man. Yeah. Rock Rage, come on. I know you know. It's okay. We can admit it, but hey.
Craigslist.
There you go. Close to it, brother. But we having fun, bro, talking shit. That's how we roll. Raiders all day. You know, I had to come in and represent that, too. We in football season, getting there. So that's what's up.
Brian, thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Good to see you as always, man.
It's just a shock because we started this whole thing when we were just doing it for the video game Madden.
Right.
We were just doing a little podcast and making that happen. But everything evolved because you actually encouraged me to make that move, to go ahead and create something on a weekly basis that wasn't just on video games. It was across the board on the entertainment level. And 5 years later, I'm still doing what you pushed me to. So I really appreciate you putting in that word into my ear saying, make it happen.
Thanks, man. I'll take that $50. between what you and Randy Taylor Weber owe me, man.
Oh,
add that to a plus interest.
Exactly. And still this day, shouts out to Randy Taylor Weber, producer of Joe Sett's In a Dream. That's
My love. Galaxy Records, eh?
That's right. Yeah, he doesn't even remember ever owing you money. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I know he was going through a thing smoking like some crack rock or some shit, so that makes sense.
It's all good. All good,
Randall.
We had a little bit of an accident there, but we're going to fix that in a little bit if you guys are tuning in on Facebook Live. This is live, so shit's going to happen, but we'll troubleshoot it, make sure it's all straightened out. So moving right along, our next guest, I was going to say special, but everyone's a guest here.
And we're special.
Yeah, but I think everyone is special just in general. Oh, that's super cool. This gentleman, he is actually a newcomer to the professional wrestling scene. He is part of the PCW Federation.
Work farm, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what is it? Young Lion as well.
Yep,
And
2015 APW Young Lion.
there you go. There you go. Let's have a big round of applause for Will Roberts, everyone.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on to the program.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the gentleman on your right, you're going to give a lot of credit to once we do his intro, but
Let's not make his ego bigger. No. You're already inflating it. His head's already. Come on, dude. Let's push that thing back that way.
that's awesome. So, yeah, glad that you're on the program, and we're going to get into all what you've done in the professional wrestling scene. I'm excited to hear your story, but before we get into that, we're going to have to introduce our main guest here. Across the board, this guy has made moves here in the Bay Area with the Pro Championship Wrestling, with Gold Rush Wrestling, just holding all kinds of belts. You can see the belt right in front of him.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's shiny.
Shiny. It's
It's real. It's a championship belt, man.
you can't beat
It's
that,
going
bro.
to cost you $5 for touching it.
All right.
Let's have a big round of applause for Rik Luxury, everyone.
Yeah.
The pleasure is all yours.
Rick, you are the man. And our
That's
board,
what I say in the ring all the time, and
Yeah,
people
it
get
gets-
annoyed by it.
they get annoyed?
I
do.
say, who's the man? Everyone gets annoyed by it.
I'm one of those guys.
Hey,
That's
Will,
what
I'm
about
glad to
it.
know that you're actually talking closer to the mic like it's a promoter's dick.
Oh.
You know, used to be close to your mouth, but yeah, now
coming
I can
from-
hear you a lot better now.
Oh, this coming from the guy that has all these championships. Now we know where he got them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, man, you guys are air personality team as it is. You hear that, Blue?
Right.
They're tag teaming it better than us.
That's what time it is.
Oh, shit, they're going
Eiffel
to take our
Tower.
jobs. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining the program.
Oh, thank you for
And,
having us.
I'm excited definitely to hear all. I mean, you guys are actually the first professional wrestlers here on the Slam Show ever.
And it's
That's
called the
awesome,
Slam Show, which
Yeah,
is
that's
like,
weird.
I
Weird,
thought this
totally
was a
weird.
pro wrestling podcast the entire time.
Just in general, right?
Exactly.
Hey, man, I actually had someone try to purchase the domain name, and that it was from a wrestling company as well. They're like, how much you want to sell your domain name? I was like, oh, how much you want to put out? And he was like, $50. I'm like, click. Come on, man.
Wow. That's like an insult, bro.
Big
It
time.
is.
You
Big
should have went
time.
at least 6 figures, right?
Something like that. Shoot, we need to freaking have our freaking vacation money
Yeah, I mean,
selling a domain name.
or at least an upgraded studio. I mean,
Thank you.
Rick thought it was like out of the back of a van or something.
At one point, I did.
That's
Spinning
funny.
out
And
the back of a van.
and Boom and Brian was driving the van.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was on the way to get that carpet, right?
Right. That's right.
The good old carpet stories. We have a bunch of crazy shit to tell you, ladies
They're
and
not
gentlemen.
talking about trim either. They're talking
We're
about
talking
like
about
actual
real live carpet.
I know. I wish I could be about trim, but those are some other stories too, right?
Absolutely. We're
Not
gonna get
here
into
nor
that.
there.
All right, guys. Everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. This episode is sponsored by Little J's Burgers out of
Yeah.
Pittsburgh,
That's
the best
what's up.
tri-tip in the area.
Try the fry sauce.
How was that?
Oh, the fry sauce is amazing. Have
yeah.
to try the fry sauce.
There you go. Shouts out to Aaron. He's the man. He's the one that makes it happen.
Thanks for hooking it up, brother. Good stuff.
There you go. There you go. All right. Before we get into our interview segment, I'd like to go ahead and do a little update on a few things. The past few weeks, I've been on vacation. Actually, myself and Sage, we been doing a few trips. Went to Vegas for this convention, the Super Toy Con, because
sweet.
we geek out like that.
Sweet.
Adult toys?
That's the AVN Awards in January.
Okay. Gotcha.
We're pinned in for that. You want to go, Boo?
Psst, you know I'm there. You don't gotta ask me twice.
You guys can take that van.
Was that held by Pawn Stars? They have they have a Pawn Stars toy shop there. All the toys they buy from on Pawn Stars, they actually bring it to a store, and it's in Vegas, right next to the Heart Attack Bar and Grill, right there on Fremont Street.
That is called Toy Shack.
Oh, the Toy Shack.
Yeah. That we went there as well.
Okay.
But yeah, we went there, checked it out. We did the whole pool party thing. That was kind of cool. Shouts out to Hard Knocks out of Concord. They're now, these DJs and recording artists are now living over in Las Vegas, and they hooked it up big time. The limo. Sapphire.
What?
Yeah, Sapphire has
You
a
go
big
from
one.
Monument Boulevard to Fremont Boulevard, huh? Or Fremont Street.
That's a big transition for some Concord boys.
Right.
So, Jim, Dan, thank you very much for the hospitality and making that happen. Also to Samurai, our good friend from Vegas. He freaking hooks up everything as far as like table service and stuff like that. Major socialite. in Vegas. So if you guys need someone to give you a little tour, our friend Samurai will hook it up. Also, former co-host Mikey Mike, he was able to come through a few times and give us a little like chauffeuring.
Mikey Mike, he's out there?
Yeah, he's out there.
Oh, I gotta hit him up next time. I'll be out there in October.
Dude, hit him up.
Yeah, definitely. Give me
Link
his
up.
Info.
Yeah.
Is he he's watching this shit? Mikey Mike, is he out there? Is he looking right now, listening?
I
What's up,
hope
man?
so.
Booming, bro. Hook it up. I'll be out there in October.
Demand it.
I want to go see the Britney Spears show.
Or the Celine Dion.
I don't know. Is she even still performing, bro? Yeah, I'm a little cool with that right now, but.
How about the Jabberwockies?
Oh, yeah, definitely that.
You can go see the Michael Jackson experience out there. It actually has like a hologram Michael Jackson that performs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, legit.
That'd be
Nice.
pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
When we were out there in July, we did catch the Blue Man Group. I'll tell you, that was a pretty awesome show, man.
Oh, man. I haven't seen that, but I heard it's off the
Yeah,
hook.
you got to check it out, Blue Man Group.
The Blue Man
That's
Group.
tight.
Yeah,
And they've been having that for what, like years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We
It's
were
awesome.
just out there last April, and we went and seen Zombie Burlesque.
Oh, man, that
yeah.
was on point,
It was-
man.
it was
I
on
can
point.
imagine that
It
It was,
shit.
it was amazing. It was actually really good.
And where's that at?
That was at the mall that's right there by the, what is it, right down from, what casino is that?
Crazy Horse?
No.
The Bellagio.
The Bellagio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy horse.
That's in San Francisco, and that's where you can find what we like to call sea donkeys. For anyone that doesn't know what a sea donkey is,
Okay.
Terminology there, Boom.
I don't know, but does he want to
Yeah, Rick
elaborate?
does.
well, a sea donkey is it's like a manatee with a woman's head on it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they're hanging out at the Crazy Horse. So
Gotcha.
Steer clear, steer clear.
Okay.
All right. We have been warned.
And that's the full nude, so you got to take that in consideration, huh?
Yeah, you ever seen an uncircumcised vagina?
Oh. the meat curtains on fleek.
Oh, man. Sea monkeys, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag sea monkeys.
No, sea donkey. Sea donkey.
That's the other strip club. That's the penthouse.
That one right there is from my boy in Colorado, Royce the 5'9".
Royce the 5'9".
Oh, shit.
Cough up that lung, Boom.
Oh, yeah. You know, when you laugh, man, sometimes it just goes a little above and beyond. That's all good.
There you go. There you go. And just last week, we were over in Atlantic City, New Jersey for
Hey.
the DJ Expo.
Didn't we go there once?
Yes, we did.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we did.
Taking over shit.
Oh man, let's touch briefly on that because that was before everything started blowing up as far as my industry music career. Me and Boom and Brian, we went over to one of the very first DJ Expos.
What year was that?
92, I believe.
Fuck me,
Yeah.
dude. We're old.
And we actually stayed at what type of place?
The Irish pub.
Yeah, it was a room
Where
It was-
they get you up and down. The guy actually physically has to come and get in the elevator to close the double doors and pull the handle to take you up to the floor that you're going to. And it's one common bathroom per floor. Yeah.
Like Twilight Zone.
So essentially, I had to go from trying to bang a chick in our small ass room to take her into the community bathroom, and then people are knocking on the door because it's break of dawn and people want to shower and take a shit. So it was just all bad.
Oh man, and the room, I kid you not, it was like a closet. There was just one bed, and we had to take it apart where I was laying on a mattress and you were laying on the freaking
Floor?
box spring.
Yeah, pretty much. Just they had the little thin strip of a floor between the wall and the bed. It was like a jail cell
It
down
was
there,
crazy
bro.
because this was before the whole internet thing where you could Yelp shit and kind of get up to date with certain things. And basically,
Yelp it.
it was just finding the cheapest freaking place on the East Coast that was near
Yeah.
the DJ Expo that we should stay at.
Right.
And I think it was like $50 a night.
Yeah, it was real cheap.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You guys just gave me a great idea. I'm going to close down the luxury suite. I'm going to open up the awful brothel.
There you go. I'd visit that place, though.
He's
Get some
like,
kicks out of that place.
as long
Yeah,
as
you
it's,
get something else too, probably. Take it home with you.
There you
There you go.
If it bothers you, just hit it with the shampoo.
As long
Okay.
as it's $50 or under, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that price point that we're aiming for.
That's the
Yeah.
spending limit. $50 in an ID.
Exactly. So yeah, that back then is when it all started with the DJ Expo, and fast forward to now, 2016, made our return trip there.
24 years in the making, man.
Fuck.
It
Go
hasn't
back to the-
changed? Is it the same?
It's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. It's where was it held at back in '92?
It was right off the boardwalk in one of those.
Yeah, because where it was held this year in the past 6 years was over at the Trump Taj Mahal.
Okay.
So do you recall it being at the?
I don't recall that.
Okay.
I know we moseyed our way through there, but I don't recall it actually being there.
Yeah.
But who knows? It could have been. I mean,
Yeah, it was all on the boardwalk anyways.
you know, when you're drunk every day, sometimes you forget where shit is and located and kind of how the day goes. So,
Yeah.
But it was all good.
It was all good. Will, Rick, he was off the hook. I mean, he was booming Brian.
That was
Big
a
time.
different era way back then, man. That was no kids yet and no grays and a little bit of hair.
That was the era of kid and play still.
Oh, man.
That's
we were
right.
Doing a lot of kidding and playing, that's for sure.
Oh, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, so as far as my trip is concerned, it went freaking south really quick because they freaking Southwest, they freaking lost my luggage.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So your BDSM, all that,
All
your
that shit.
lingerie, all that shit you usually cosplay with?
It was gone.
I'm sorry, man.
It was gone. And
Must have been a really bored plane ride back, right?
no. Actually, they found the luggage, but it wasn't until late the next day.
In Thailand?
They may have went to Thailand. That's the thing. But yeah, it was all intact. TSA didn't go through it or anything like that, so I was cool. They gave a $100 voucher and said, "Okay, call it a day." But I was still fucked up. I was thinking, man, am I actually going to get my luggage back? I mean, have you guys experienced that?
No, actually, I've never really checked a bag in. I normally pack only to bring what I can with me onto the plane because I don't trust checking anything in with anyone else.
At all.
That's like saying, hey, I don't really know you. Here's the keys to my car. I'll be right back. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever experienced anything like that. To be honest with you, I'd probably lose my shit on somebody and get arrested.
And lose your shit. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
lose your shit.
literally and figuratively. It just wouldn't be good, man.
Oh, believe me, I was flipping out because you have everything in there, all what you're going to be wearing throughout the week at the expo. It was just crazy. But the next day, they were able to bring it. All's good, and we're able to resume the trip. The expo was off the hook. Shouts out to everyone that I network and became friends with. There's so many names, but you know who you are.
Dave, John, and Joe.
Something like that. And the after parties were over at this strip club called Scores, and it was on a rooftop. It was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
That was pretty cool.
But there were no strippers. It was
Oh,
basically a fucking sausage fest with all these freaking DJs and stuff just kicking it, hanging out. It is what it is.
Oh,
So
sorry for that experience, man.
And if you would have had your bag that night with all 10 gallons of Johnson & Johnson baby oil that you had, that
You would've had a
sausage
good
fest would have
time.
been on point.
You would have had a
Right.
good time.
yeah, I would have been well taken care of. That's for
Glistening. Glistening.
And also, it wasn't just to go there and hang out. I was part of a panel to in front of like 100 or so people to talk about music and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool to share my knowledge. They thought highly of me to throw me up there, the East Coast representatives. I'm like, okay, cool. West Coast in the house. Bay Area primarily.
Filipino.
That too.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I was the only one there. It was crazy. So yeah, overall, it was a great experience. And as far as DJ events coming up this Saturday, and I was supposed to get that little flyer from Rock Rage. I think it's too late to show it. Kind of escaped us. But Church Ward Pub, this Saturday, I will be in the mix. So check that out. It's over in Alameda, 1515 Park Street. So if you have any parties or anything like that, hit me up. I'll get you in on the guest list, get you a table, all that stuff. Just hit me up on social media at I Am Slammin'. Everything. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram.
You are who?
I Am Slammin'.
All right.
There you go.
Making sure you remember that.
Please do. All right, guys. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Our special guests in the house, once again, are Will Roberts and Rik Luxury. Another big round of applause.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's roll right into it, shall we?
Let's go right to the lightning round.
How'd you guys get, well, Will, you just have a standard nickname, but I think it's just the real deal, correct?
Yes, sir.
You know that's a pretty common nickname, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that other people like that nickname and maybe just adding it to themselves as well, I guess.
Yeah, there was a boxer that used it a long time ago,
Yeah,
but I
I know.
don't think he ever made it famous.
No, I didn't hear anything about him. I don't know about him. First I've heard of this, so.
There you go. Stand true to it. And there's no tricked out spelling or anything. It's just the real deal.
Nope. That's my trainer Zachary was like, all right, man. I started training. He was impressed by what was going on, and he was like, all right, man, you're the real deal, and it just kind of went
Stuck.
from there. That's
What he's not telling you is Zach Reeves, my best friend, and he tells pretty much everybody they're
Yeah, he
the real
does.
deal.
Yeah, he does.
He's like,
really does.
hey, this kid's been here for 3 hours, and man, he is the real deal. I'm
Yeah, he does.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what's he done so far in the business, man? How amazing is it?
He's been training for 5 minutes. That's what he's done.
He knew how to tie his shoe. He's the real deal.
Well, at least he knows that you're the real deal,
Yeah.
specifically.
He's the only one he'd let actually use the moniker.
Okay.
I did something with it, is what he's saying.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, you ever seen a man's knees touch his elbows? That's how he became the real deal.
Oh, okay.
That is nice.
Okay. Ask him about how he's missing those teeth, all them dicks. Right?
I love it.
all
I'm
I
telling you,
know
Boom,
is-
we're just getting freaking
Oh, it's
outdone here
awesome,
with
man.
this deal.
What a great comeback for a show. This is awesome.
Oh,
dude.
they call him the comeback kid. Normally, that's where they leave it when they're done with him.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Hell yeah.
So, Rick, how'd you get your nickname?
Actually, my nickname came from my wrestling coach. When I was wrestling in high school as amateur wrestling, I just always wanted to be at practice, and I'd go early, I'd stay late, I'd practice throughout the entire year. Season was only 3 to 4 months, and I would train all year long, summertime included. I pretty much, when we went to high school, we were the first year the high school was built, brand new wrestling coach, and we were the ones that we kind of instilled to him, like, well, we should, train during the summertime. We shouldn't just be hanging out doing this if we're going to take season serious. So it was my senior year of high school, and my wrestling coach told me that I embody wrestling. He said, you live, breathe, eat, sleep, and embody wrestling, and you're wrestling personified. And I didn't think anything of it when I first got in pro wrestling, and I just started training, and I took everything serious with everything I did, and I dabbled in a few different gimmicks. And then finally, when I got done Rik Luxury, they were looking for a moniker for me, and I was like, well, I'll pull this one back out the trunk, wrestling personified. And I've just done everything I possibly can to live up to that moniker, not just for it to be, oh, that's what he calls himself,
Right.
but for other people to actually look at me and say, that guy is wrestling personified.
But before that, before Rik Luxury, he was Crichton Downey, correct?
Yeah, I've wrestled under the name Rick Vandal, Crichton Downing.
Okay.
I was
And how did those nicknames come about?
Rick Vandal was the name that I used in the
Sounds like a rapper name.
Yeah, it's what I used when I was in the backyard wrestling. Before I actually became trained. Once I became trained, I became Crichton Downing, and I wore tattered jeans and a T-shirt with American flag on it that said, like, sit, beg, roll over, play dead. This is what your country thinks of you. Why think anything less?
Wow.
And I was a disposable teen. I was like emo before there was emo.
Gotcha.
Like, at the time there was goth, but then I was just like emo before emo was emo. And that didn't last too long. I did that for 2 years in my career. And when I left the promotion that gave me that that name in the beginning, I had such a respect for where I trained, and at the time, we didn't have a relationship where this company and this company are friends and you can go work for either one. When I started wrestling, it was kind of like this company sticks to itself, this company sticks to it. It was kind of like easier way to say it would be like Interscope Records.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy over here. It's
Yeah.
like you weren't jumping over there to be like, hey, let's do a collaboration.
Yeah.
It wasn't going on back then.
Gotcha.
So when I left the company that I was working with, Crichton Downing, I decided that belonged to that company, and I was going to leave that there. And then I went on and had to pick up another moniker. So I went back to Rick Vandal at the time, and then I started training with a guy named Joe Applebaum, Pogo the Clown. And he was the Bad Apple, Joe Applebomber, and he deemed us all bad apples, and we were Joey Bad Apple, Johnny Bad Apple. We were kind of monikering off the Ramones, and we were just a bunch of, punk little kids. And that didn't last very long because there was a guy that was training named Shane Dynasty, and he was part of the Beautiful People. And
That's a cool name, Shane Dynasty.
Shane Dynasty, and they had a group. It was Showtime Shane Dynasty, the feature presentation Clint Douglas and Handsome Jack Dalton, and they were the Beautiful People. And Jack was moving away, so they needed to put a third person in that group because they were putting trios tag belts out, and that group was on their way to winning them, but they lost their third man. So they ended up interjecting me into the group, and he said, yeah, well, all those names that you've used before won't work. You have to be beautiful, and that's where the name Rik Luxury came from.
Wow.
So
it
and
evolved.
ever since then, yeah, I've evolved like a Pokemon, and everybody plays Pokemon Go. Don't you lie, you know you play it. Yeah, it evolved. So, and then that was back in 2005, and ever since then, I've just stayed with the name Rik Luxury.
Gotcha. So these past monikers, all those wins and losses, they still total up to you regardless. It doesn't. It's not separate,
it's
right?
It's not separate to me. No.
Gotcha. That's cool. Dope.
Yeah.
So, as far as the professional wrestling, what made you say I'm gonna fucking do this whole thing? I'm just gonna go all out and basically make it a career. Will?
Man, WrestleMania 6. I was when I was little. I was a huge Ultimate Warrior mark. Never liked Hogan. He's a chump. I've always just never been into Hogan. I seen Ultimate Warrior beat Hogan and become the Intercontinental Champion and the WWF Heavyweight Champion, and I was like, damn, man, that is like the coolest thing ever. This dude is just like, I mean, I guess as a little kid, you see this dude all painted up and just jacked, and all these people are just, you buy in as a little kid. And I seen that, and I got a little white box for Christmas that year that had, you remember those, the bendy wrestling figures?
Yes,
That's all they did. They were like rubber. Got a huge box of like the roster in a wrestling ring, and I was just like, this is it, man. This is what I want to do. I want to be a professional wrestler, and regardless of what I do in life to get there,
right.
That's the end goal, is to make it, to be a professional wrestler. Growing up, I'd watch wrestling, but I never really knew how you became a wrestler. I was aware that there was the indies, but I wasn't aware of how it worked. So to me, it was like, all right, man, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Vince, and I'll be like, all right, dude, I want to be a wrestler. And he's going to be like, all right, Will,
yeah.
you know what? I'll see you on Raw. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, here I go. I'll be 1, 2, 3 kid or something. I'm just going to run in, and I'm going to get a win over Razor Ramon. And it's going to be, man, next thing you know, I'm the shit. Now I'm a wrestler. But little did I know that you got to go through some wrestling training, and for me, it was wrestling training on a farm, and I hate farms, and I hate farm animals, and had to go in a barn and train in a barn with Zach Reeb and at the PCW work farm and Rik Luxury, and man, I did not expect wrestling to be so. I expected it to be so to be physical, but I didn't expect it to be like, oh shit, I just took my first bump and got a concussion. This sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because you never had any previous experience with wrestling, like in high school or college or anything like that,
the
right?
The most like experience I had with anything like that would be combatives from the Army.
Gotcha.
From my Army training. It was but no, I mean I would say the most wrestling I did was in my backyard, and other than that, it would be on my bed, and it just never really worked out that well. Especially one of my stepbrothers, as a matter of fact, I decided that I was going to try to be Bubba of the Dudleys, and I was going to give him a Bubba bomb, and little did I know that when you give somebody a Bubba bomb on a mattress, that their head's probably going to come up and hit you in the chin. So I bit into my lip, and I was like bleeding everywhere. I was like, oh damn, don't want to do that anymore. That sucks. So yeah, man, that's pretty much how it came to. I went. I joined this competition, living the dream, and Zach and Rick were down there, and Scotty Aboot and all these guys down there that I had seen before, because I had seen PCW in Yuba City. I went to one of their shows once I started to get older, and I found out about the indies, and I was like, damn, these guys are cool, you know. This is pretty cool, you know. Oliver John there, and you know, I vaguely remember Rick. He's one of the few people that stand out, but obviously I remembered Zach and Oliver John.
How long ago was this?
I want to say this was
20 years ago?
Oh, no. Damn, I mean, you're looking good for if it was 20 years ago. That's a shoot, brother. I would probably say it was around 2005 or 2006 time frame, around in there.
Right.
Probably
And,
2006.
yeah, it was. They did this show in Yuba City at the fairgrounds, and
this is roughly around the first time that you guys met.
That would have been 2005.
this was
Yuba City at the fairgrounds,
this was actually
2005.
the first indie show that I had ever went to, because my brother Tim Cooper, he was like, dude, I just went to this event, and he was talking about El Flaco Loco, and he you know, we were still young marks at the time, and he's like, got his autograph, and I was like, oh man, this is freaking awesome. So he's like, yeah, and so I was like, man, I wanna see an indie show, and like, so I'm like looking on this thing, and somehow I seen a flyer for PCW, and I was like, all right, cool, man. Now I can be like him, and I can be the cool kid, and be like, I went to an indie show too, dude. I'm cool now, you know. And I went. It happened to be PCW, and then fast forward a little bit time later, and we went to a SmackDown, Raw and SmackDown Super Show. You remember when they were doing the Super shows?
Yep.
Yeah, the one at Arco at the time, where Shawn Michaels super kicked Hogan. It was like, everybody was like, oh shit. And me being the Hogan hater was like, oh, thank God, I hate that dude.
Yeah.
But by the way, that led into one of my favorite promos ever, was Shawn Michaels doing the Larry King bit. That was
my hip, brother.
Awesome. I came outside, and there was a dude named Mitch Valentine.
Oh God.
And we shared this, so I'm sure he's probably watching it. And me and Mitch have had our heat, and you know what? We'll keep it at that.
You name drop me, brother.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, I'm the coolest guy in the world now. I mean, it's not Brian Cage cool without name dropping, but you know, he gave me a flyer, and it was for this Living the Dream thing. And at the time, APW, Roland Alexander was still alive, and he was hitting up Coop and myself, and you know, he's like, what are you guys doing? And Tim just happened to tell him we got that flyer, and we're like, looked at each other and like, why the hell not, man? $20. Went down there, happened to be put in the top 4. Next thing I know, I'm trying to beg people for online votes to get me to, you know, be the winner of the Living the Dream competition. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but I can honestly say that myself and JJ King, the other wrestler that was up in Reading, we're the only two besides Tim Cooper that are really left, and Chico Lopez that are left from that first Living the Dream. We're still holding it down strong, and from there it was onto the Young Lions tournament, and won the Young Lions tournament, and gotten opportunities from people that
Now, did you get a belt for that?
I got a trophy, man. I didn't know.
You should have brought that.
I didn't know that this was gonna be like a live, like actual
Fail.
This guy.
Something where
whatever.
you could put onto the camera, right?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was gonna be just like our voices or on our Rick, my trainer over here, obviously not setting me up for success over here.
Yeah, he misinformed you.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, Sparky Ballard was. I have a huge amount of respect for, you know, and he put on this tournament that was one of my goals to be the Young Lion, and I happened to become the Young Lion and got to wrestle people like Ruby Reyes, and you know, it was pretty awesome. Douglas James, got to go. Him and I were the last two, and Stevie T from out here in Oakland. It was awesome, man. Ever since then, it was really just. Man, I got a lot of opportunities, you know. Marcus Mack, I'm thankful for the opportunities he's given me at APW with like this weekend wrestling in front of, it had to be like at least 900 easy.
Oh, wow.
On the show that he had X-Pac, man. Rick and Zach letting me do my thing, and I got to become champion down there at PCW, and Sparky Ballard just letting me do my thing at Gold Rush and PPW. Man, it's a really cool experience, and I'm just thankful for all these opportunities that I got that I've been getting. And from now, it's just just keep pushing forward. Don't let these people be like, hey man, you can't do this. I'm like, no, watch me, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So.
And in one question, he just answered every question that you might have for him, as he gave you his entire career.
It kind of snowballs from there,
Well, the good thing, Rick, is that he is basically pointing in the direction that you are a mentor to him, so that's a very great thing.
No, he's a good kid.
All the shit talking you guys do amongst each other, it's like,
that's because we're family.
Exactly. The same with me and Boone. We fucking talk shit to each other.
My whole story of the whole thing is I was always told that the fly on the wall said that pro wrestling was on the TV when I was sliding out that narrow escape route of the birth canal. And ever since then, just one thing has led to another. I believe one of the other stories that I've been told, because you don't really have a memory at that young of an age, but when I was 1.5, wrestling was on the TV, and there was a bunch of, ass ends of beer bottles sitting on the table, and I decided to think it was my bottle, picked it up, chugged it down, and then started gibberishing a promo to the TV while wrestling was on, and everyone's like, oh, that kid's gonna be a wrestler. And
awesome.
Lo and behold, ended up one of my youngest childhood friends was just like, oh, wrestling. Like, I was like, cool, Rambo, and he's like, no, wrestling. And I'm like, oh, sure, He-Man, G.I. Joe. And he's like, no, bro, wrestling. And I was like, what the hell's wrestling? Boom. Well, yep, I remember that from being a baby, obviously, because instantly hooked. And ever since then, I went to kindergarten, and they made us do paper towel rolls. Like, what do you want to be? And kids are making doctors and firefighters and veterinarians and everything else. And they're like, what's that? You in your underwear? I'm like, nope, I'm a wrestler.
Nice.
So, long story short, had no idea how to get into wrestling, kind of like Will said. So I got into amateur wrestling thinking that's what you got to do. And did amateur wrestling for, pretty much almost half my life of what I've been around for right now. And
Gotcha.
And then from that, just did backyard wrestling, and then found my trainer through an actual wrestling show held by Anthony Ferris, who used to wrestle for the AWA's Earthquake. Anthony Ferris, he's a football coach.
Antioch High School, right?
Yeah,
that's
he's a
right.
football coach. He used
Very well-known name.
Yeah, he used to wrestle for the AWA. He ran a Legends of Wrestling show, and I met my trainer there and stayed in contact with him for a year, and then that's how I broke into the business.
That's funny you mentioned that. I was going to bring that up because I do recall Earthquake Ferris doing a lot of events at the Antioch, and God damn it, I wish I would have went to one, you know what I mean? Because that's back when I was really into wrestling, and I remembered his name, and just somehow never got over to check it out. And man, I wish I would have.
Oh, they were great shows.
I'm sure they were.
They were great. That's what really got me pointed in the right direction of it's not just backyard wrestling and it's not just amateur wrestling. Like, this is how you get into pro wrestling. I did it the old school way. Nowadays, there's actually training schools, and people could find brochures and just join a training school. I found a wrestler to train me.
There you go.
Personally, and then I did the old school way. The way they used to do it in the 70s and 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s and so on and so forth. Before people just said, "Oh, you know what? Buy a ring, put up a building, and we got a school. Let's make some money."
Yeah.
Wrestling schools are notorious around the world for just trying to make money, and it's like a revolving door. People come in, people don't make it, people go out, but the money stays with the promoter or the school owner and operator. But to find a wrestler and to train, it's that old school route of they're gonna know if you have what it takes to make it, if you can cut the mustard, and the more you show them, the more they're willing to actually show you about the business. So, and that's the way I trained guys like Will. Is at first Will was training at the school that I came from, and I had no clue who he was, like, for 8 months.
Literally until we had a match.
Straight up virgin.
Wow.
Literally until I wrestled. The guy was around for a while, but until I actually stepped in the ring with him and wrestled with him, you could have called him, Tom, Dick, or Harry, and I'd have been like, oh yeah, okay, that kid, and I don't know who the hell you're talking about. And I step in the ring with him, and I see, the kid's passion. He got, he really got down on himself for a couple of the mistakes he made in the match. And I told him, hey, you're your own worst critic. You're going to beat yourself up, but learn from it. Listen and learn. If you don't listen and learn, then you're wasting everyone's time. And the turnaround is he ended up moving down to where I live and started training with me. And like I say, the more he shows me, that he's willing to learn in that, the more I show him. And the better he gets on his own, the better I get. And then the better the business gets. So that's just the way it works.
Well said.
Yes.
Bowman Brian, I know you have a question or two for our guests.
So you were mentioning terms like shoot, a work, fabe, things of that nature. So for the layman's that I've heard some of those terms thrown around over the years and seen YouTube and watching some of these wrestlers do what they call like a shoot interview. So what is a shoot, or what is a shoot interview?
Shoot interview is pretty much just everyone always wants to say wrestling's fake, and that stuff's they throw around so many different terminology for it, like it's fake, it's phony, it's scripted, it's rehearsed, it's choreographed, whatever
it's
you want
staged.
to say. Staged, yeah. I mean, you can go through a thesaurus and pick the word you want to throw at us, but a shoot's more or less is it's kind of, if you want to say we're scripted, then the shoot interview would kind of be there is no script, and it's like you think you know what was going on at that point in time in wrestling, and now we're just going to totally pull the wool out from your eyes and let you know what's going on.
Okay.
Perfect example, and this is when wrestling gets real to a certain extent, is just Saturday. Our home promotion. We have an interview between Will Roberts and Zach Reeb, the guy who trained him, my best friend, and it was geared towards moving in a future direction for the company as far as match setups go, and it went from being an interview segment to going off the hip and becoming more of a shoot promo, and a lot of things that got said wasn't anything that anybody discussed amongst each other to go out there and say. It was more or less true feelings built up for an entire year, and it started getting really verbal and really descriptive and pretty uncomfortable.
Now I'm in any.
Oh wow, pretty tense.
And then the end result was what probably would have came off as pro wrestling ended up getting a little more physical, and now he's in a knee brace from it. And I literally had to come out from the back, and I have my best friend saying, "You're gonna stick up for this fucking fake piece of shit right here. You're my friend." And I literally had to say, what would your mom say in her passing if she was still here? How would she look at you right now, the way you're acting? And I had to tell him, go to the back.
Yeah.
And it's I haven't talked to him in 2 days. This is my best friend. When his mom passed away, at 3 a.m, I got a phone call. Like stuff like this.
Right.
Real life.
Personal.
And I haven't talked to him for 2 days because I mean, he'll probably cool off. We're still friends. He's going to cool off. But I kind of feel like the way it all got thrown around is
there's a little bit of bad blood after the way it went down. There's a little bit of bad blood to the point where
he takes it that Will stole his best friend from him, and that Will's cocky and arrogant, and he's not who he really portrays himself to be. And it came out that Zach has some personal demons. Yes,
tell it what it is.
Alcohol problems, and it got a little, they got heavy hitting out there. And then when it really came time to, all right, guys, we're rolling action, action got a little too physical, and result, he's in a knee brace, and my best friend hasn't spoke to me in 2 days. So, it's that's a shoot.
Okay.
So that's what a description of a shoot is. Other terms that people say like work, and it's us being able to go out there, and it's storytelling. That's what it comes down to is the way I break down wrestling is this is the easiest way I can break it down that everybody can understand, and they don't have to worry about trying to figure out what terminology we use, like kayfabe and work and all that. What I normally say is all we're asking you to do is treat us for the 2 hours and 15 minutes where they're entertaining you as if we're a movie. And what I mean by that is you go and you buy your ticket to the movie and you go and you sit in your chair and you sit down and you enjoy the movie.
You get entertained.
Sometimes you don't enjoy the movie, and that's okay. But no, you don't go into a movie. You don't go, the summer blockbuster of this year coming out this summer is Sylvester Stallone in Rambo 9. You don't go and say, oh, man, Sylvester Stallone really isn't that ripped. It's probably CGI. Oh, Stallone, dude, you did not really get shot in the shoulder with that bullet. That is fake. That's a prosthetic. That explosion was totally fake. It didn't happen. Oh, man, I can't believe they decapitated Ronda Rousey. You know what? She's not really dead. She's really still alive. I'm okay. God, that movie was so fake and awful. You go down, you know it's a damn movie. You sit down, you buy your ticket, you grab your popcorn, you drink your soda, you sit in your chair, you watch the credits roll, and then you watch the build of the movie. The movie doesn't start with the finish, the plot ending, like, oh, and Stallone, or, oh, let me just tell you, he was a ghost the whole time. You know?
Yep.
You build it, and they tease you, and you start thinking about it more and more. And you enjoy it. And then you go home and then you talk shit about parts of it, like, oh, man, that was horrible there. And then there's parts you're like, but that part was cool. And that's all we're asking. We're here to entertain you for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Buy your ticket, get your popcorn, sit down in your chair, and enjoy a show.
Well said.
You know,
man, that's.
Don't go and ask don't go, hey, can I ask you something, Tom Cruise? Who did the stunt for you when you jumped out of that plane, and how many times did he have to take that stunt, and how much training did he need to know how to roll off the wing of that plane like that? No, you don't ask him that. You go, man, I loved your movie, Tom. That was so amazing. When that plane blew up, that was so great, you know? Then that's the way I run it down to everybody.
There you go. What were, as far as a young kid, like you guys mentioned, you saw something on the TV, whether it be a WrestleMania 6 or some other wrestling show. Was there a particular wrestler? I know, Will, you had mentioned the Ultimate Warrior is one of them.
Yep.
Rick, who was somebody that back when you first started watching it really stood out?
Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret Hart is that's my dude.
Okay.
There's a lot of guys like.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all. There's a lot of guys actually. The Minnesota territory. Really, we were talking earlier about the 70s and that, and AWA.
Yep.
That Minnesota territory, man, you had Rick Rude, you had Kurt Hennig.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys just, you had Arn Anderson.
Yep.
Those guys they really put it into perspective. I was never the kid that liked Hogan. I was never the kid that the only time I liked Hulk Hogan is when he was taking on a guy like Yokozuna, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't like that. That guy's a foreigner.
Right.
But other than that, if he was facing someone like Sergeant Slaughter, even if Slaughter was a turncoat, I was like, whatever, beat him up, G.I. Joe.
Right.
Like, I never liked Hogan. I never really liked the good guy. Bret Hart was like the first good guy that I was like, oh, he's cool. Probably because my favorite color has always been pink ever since I was a kid. So I was like, oh, he's cool. He's a man. He wears pink. But I was the guy that liked, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude. I liked AA Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
I liked Ted DiBiase, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh.
Those were my
Jake
guys.
the Snake.
Right.
And it's funny because, not to get on Will about this, is like, you ask Will, who's your favorite wrestler? He's like, The Ultimate Warrior. And then you go
The Undertaker,
but then you look at Will and you go, but you don't really wrestle like the Ultimate Warrior or the Undertaker. Like, I look at the guys I liked as a kid, like Jake Roberts and Kurt Hennig, Bret Hart, and Rick Rude, and I'm like, yeah, I got a little bit of all of them kind of sprinkled into my mix there.
There you go.
I'm kind of shocked on the little kid me turning into the adult me, going, hey, I probably would have hung out with you, kid. I would have been like, hey, you're all right, kid.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your belt that you have in front of you.
Okay, this is the NWA Western States Heavyweight Championship. It actually originated from the NWA Western States Heritage Championship that was held by numerous pro wrestlers. It was inaugurated in 1979.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was held by Larry Zbyszko, Barry Windham, just to name a few of them. Actually, you can catch on the WWE Network this title actually being defended on a few shows.
No way.
If you go back far enough and watch some of the NWA, you can actually see this exact title right here defended.
So that was
I think I'll
passed
pay
on.
that $5 to touch it. For sure, man. That's history right there.
It's got the lineage on it. It's got the actual in the back here on the leather. I'll show you guys after. It's got the actual embroidered NWA logo on it. The NWA is on the bridge.
Wow.
Oh man, we're gonna have some fun taking pictures with that, boom.
This right here is like a childhood accomplishment right here, because when I was growing up, there wasn't all these companies that exist right now.
Right.
There's the NWA, the WWF, and the AWA, and that's pretty much all you really had to choose from. You had a couple of outlaw promotions like GWF in Texas and WCCW and stuff like that, Portland Wrestling, but to have notarized titles, the titles that people looked at and were like, that guy's a champion. Me growing up, it was AWA, NWA, or WWF. And to actually be an I don't care what people say about the NWA now, what they say it is or what it's become or whatever, to actually hold an NWA championship that was held by wrestlers I watched as a kid is
It's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and have our board guy, Rock Rage, since he was the one that actually said, Sam, we got to get my boy Rick on. And he has a question or two for you. And he rarely comes on the mic, ladies and gentlemen, Rock Rage. He just wants to stay silent. But this time...
Too much of a mark in him.
Yeah, because you guys have great history.
Bullied him, bro. That's what it is.
Let's give it a shot. Alex.
Took his
Okay,
toys.
all right, Rick. It's a pleasure getting you on the show, and also Will.
Thank you.
I'm a big wrestling fan, and I've been in rooms with you watching pay-per-views. You invited me over, and we went to go see like WrestleMania, at your house, and I'm sitting there with a lot of other local wrestlers and things like that. Who are some of the names, and also Will too, who are some of the names you just like to give a quick shout out to be like, keep your eye on this person? I mean, just something to be like, maybe you don't know this person, maybe you've seen him before, or that's a good gimmick, but behind the gimmick, here's a talent.
All right. Well, me and Will just shoot back and forth. That way we're not just sitting there on the mic. I'm going to say this right now. With the, always got to give love to Mr. Primetime, Zach Reeb. That guy right there, I believe, for anyone who does not know who...
Bad blood aside, I agree.
For anyone who does not know who MPT is, Mr. Primetime, Zach Reeb, that guy should already be working for the big companies, and it's a shame that he's not right now. Will, you want to throw a shout out to someone?
Yep, a tag team.
You already had it.
Yep,
I was about to say that first.
Levi Shapiro and Buddy Royal, the classic connection, man. They're a tag team, 21st century old school, man. They're where it's at. They're top tier when it comes to the tag team, especially in this area.
Well, not to cut you off, but since we're talking about tag teams, I want to give a shout out to Adam Thornstowe, the Rock.
Oh, absolutely.
And
They're
Lester,
on that
the
list.
legend,
Absolutely.
the Reno Scum. Those guys have wrestled a couple of shows with Ring of Honor already, and
absolutely.
The fact that those guys don't have big money contracts and working up there for Connecticut is a dying shame as well.
It's funny that to kind of take from what Rick is saying, actually, and this is a shoot, one of the matches that I want to have in my career is against Adam Thornstowe.
Adam Thornstowe, the King of the Indies.
The King of the Indies.
There you go.
I'm the young lion, man. I hold Adam Thornstowe like on a respect level. Same with Lester, man. If I could just one match, I tag team or just one-on-one just to show them.
You're on the platform to call them out right now.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Shout out right now to the greatest referee in professional wrestling, Sparky Ballard. You need, if you don't have a job with this business and for the rest of your life making every dollar you need to, something's not right with the world.
Man, I guess on that, I would say, you know what? I want to give a shout out to a promoter. He's really, man. Like I said, I kind of touched on it earlier. It would be like Sparky Ballard and Marcus Mack, man, holding it down for the Bay Area down here. And I mean, same even with Hood Slam, man. I gotta, they're doing their thing down here, but I'm blessed to be a part of APW and Gold Rush, and they're both giving me huge opportunities, man. So
Billy Blade with
Billy
Vendetta
Blade, absolutely.
Kirk White running BTW, Gabe Ramirez with Pro Wrestling Revolution. You guys are all holding it down for professional wrestling in this entire state to make it what it is today. Shout out to my boy Joey Ryan, breaking the internet on a regular basis. You don't even need the plug, but you're just a hell of a guy, man. I just love your in-ring work. Royce the 5'9" out there, Royce Isaacs in Colorado. I miss you already.
Really?
Yesterday.
Yeah. And then
okay.
I think I keep another guy, Jody Christofferson, man. That dude. Oh God, I love that guy.
His dad's actually Chris Christopherson, the country singer.
Oh shit!
And actor.
Yes,
actor,
from the Blade movie.
But that aside, man. Hell of a talent, J.R. Kratos, Jeff Cobb, man, you name it, Thunder Rosa,
Christina Von
Neri, Shotzi Blackheart.
We're in a land of unsigned talent here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, there's a lot of guys to check out and watch.
That's awesome. Well, gentlemen, in about 3 to 5 years, where do you guys see yourselves at?
I think the ultimate goal for me is like, I look at WWE and they're doing cool stuff with the Cruiserweight Classic and all that stuff, and that's a cool man. If I could get on that, that'd be awesome. But ultimate goal is for Japan. I would say Japan. I would really love to really love to work Japan, and again really work. I want to have that match with both of the members of the Scum.
Gotcha.
That's kind of like long goals or that short-term goals at this point in time.
I think that's going to happen real quick after you're speaking on the show. That's for sure.
I hope so. Much respect and love for those guys, man.
That's awesome.
For me, for 3 to 5 years, I just right now I feel that I'm in a nice spot where I am right now. I know that.
And you're in your prime.
I know that I don't have a
little older than prime. But
I don't have the WWE knocking at my door. I'd like to make a few tours.
To Japan.
Japan, Mexico, Philippines would be great. They got lumpia. I'd like to go to Canada as well, and I got a couple connections in a few places. I just got to pull the trigger and make them happen. Hopefully, they all come to fruition. But I just want to help take the talent that's growing right now and just get them to where they can get to the next level as well.
Okay.
I'm happy being at home with my wife and my kids and being able to wrestle. It's a godsend. It's a bless to be able to do what I want. I didn't have to go and do I got to always say I want to be a pro wrestler, and now I get to be a pro wrestler, and I get to pay my bills from being a pro wrestler. I wasn't the guy in high school that was like, oh, I'm going to be a rock star, I'm going to be a baseball player, I'm going to play football, or I'm going to be a doctor, and they were selling car insurance or working behind a desk. I did what I wanted to do. I'm happy doing it. I got at least got another 15 years in me, and then after that I'm still gonna train people, and as long as my mind works, I'll always be involved in wrestling. But I just want to get that talent to the next level if I could.
I would say really quick, just to elaborate a little bit more, I guess more in 5 years, I'd like to be the guy that represents where I came from and all these people that gave me a chance. I just like to be that guy that they're like, man, yep, I'm glad that we put our trust into that guy. So and be able to do that on a more of a bigger, more national type of stage and really show them kind of as like my thank you to them that their hard work didn't go in vain, I guess. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, you guys put in all the hard work and effort, and I wish you guys the very best. And to close out the show, we're going to go ahead and shout some plugs. So let's go. You two basically did your plugs, but if you have any extra ones, take it away, Rick.
All right. Make sure you guys check out All Pro Wrestling. Go to allprowrestling.com. Check out PCW on Facebook. That's Pro Championship Wrestling. Why? Because it's time. Gold Rush Pro Wrestling. Find them on YouTube and check out all of their shows live streamed. Look for their upcoming events and that. You can watch all of their footage live streamed on YouTube. Vendetta Pro Wrestling down there. VendettaProWrestling.com. Pro Wrestling Revolution at Pro wrestling-revolution.com. Follow me on Facebook. You can find me Ricochet or Wrestling Personified Rik Luxury. Go check me out on Twitter. That's at Rik Luxury. That's RIKLUXURY. That's an improper way to spell Rick, but I'm improper. So
Yeah.
other than that, if you want to check us out, just go support local indie wrestling wherever you're at. California, any other state around the world, go support your local indie wrestling. If you want to watch Will Roberts or myself, pretty much if you're in California, just buy a ticket. You'll see us there.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out my Facebook page, The Real Deal Will Roberts. Shout out, go check out BTW and Kirk White. They got a lot of good things going down there in Newark. Vendetta Pro, down SinCal, down in San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria area. And, yeah, man, I think Rick plugged everything. And, damn, I mean, even here in Oakland, man, you guys got Hood Slam and Stoner U, man. There's a lot of good kids out there in Stoner U. Go check. You guys need to get out there and support this, man. This is our dream. You guys are what helps make our dream possible. So
Okay, cool. Any like Christian Mingle or eHarmony or anything that you want to plug? Your handles?
Well, Will does have a private site, backdoor.com.
Rick has a front door site. It's called hismouth.com.
Gentlemen, you are the best. Boom and Brian, take it away.
Oh, man, I just had a great time, man. No real particular shout-outs. I'm not putting my Facebook handle out there because I don't just be taking anybody on my shit.
Oh, damn.
So if you could find me, cool. If not, oh, well. But it's been a great time just chopping it up, listening to the history. It's obvious, that these guys got a solid foundation, a passion for what they do, appreciate the history of it because, there's probably a lot of cats that after that era really don't understand just the real ins and outs of how that works, man, and just how we were doing, just chopping it up earlier and getting an understanding. I mean, it's hard work. It's not, for the glorious and living in the Hollywood Hills, that's for sure, but they got a love for the game, man, so you got to give them props for that, that's for sure. And I'll be back again soon, man. I'll be back.
I love it.
One last thing. If you want to be a professional wrestler at all, any dream of yours that you want to make come true, just find me on Facebook. I got my hand in every honeypot. I'll guide you in the right direction. If you're here in California, I'll send you where you need to be.
That's fantastic. Right on. Okay, I'll go ahead and close out the shouts and plugs. Gentlemen, thank you for being able to make it on the program. And anyone out there that's an aspiring wrestler, touch base with Rik Luxury, and he'll go ahead and help you. He'll hold your hand through the whole process, as he has with Will here.
I don't know about hold my hand.
Wait till the camera turns off.
There you go. When the darkness happens. Yes. But yes, thank you very much for coming on to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very
definitely. Later on, we'd love to have you come back on and talk about some future matches and possibly another belt that's going to be in front of you.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, well, that one will be in front of me the next time. You heard that, Billy
If you
Blade.
beat me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize. That's all I can say.
I've already,
There you go. A wet dream.
What can I say to that? I mean, he's got a pretty mouth.
All right. Boom and Brian.
What's
Thank you
up,
very
man?
much. You're my brother.
Thank you, brother, man.
You've supported everything from day one before I became anything remotely close to Slam and Sam, and I thank you very much for being that one person that's helped me out throughout the years and so forth. And to have you back on the program, even if it's just for this show or some brief appearance, you're welcome here anytime.
Appreciate it, brah.
And shouts out to the rest of the crew, Lady Sage, Rock Rage behind us, and everyone else. Hey, without you guys, there is no Slam show, and obviously Little J's Burgers over in Pittsburgh, catering tonight. Thank you, Aaron, for making it all happen.
Thank you, Aaron.
And
much love, man. Much love.
Exactly. And all of our sponsors and affiliates supporting the Slam show and TV EPN. Keep your eyes peeled for some new stuff coming up in the next few months. So, for myself and everyone here, we'll see you next time.
Peace.